missed any of the shows, you can follow the podcast at energeticcity.ca. Welcome to This Week in the Peace, a show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace region.
Well, good morning. I am Dub Craig, and I'm very happy you're here. And I'm very happy you're here because we've got a brand new co-host this morning. Welcome, Caitlin Coombes from Energeticcity. You're the Civics reporter. Thanks for being a part of this journey with me today.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and hopefully a little later on, Caitlin's going to be joined by outgoing Doig River First Nation Chief Trevor Makadahay. He is en route, but running a little late. So I'm very happy now to start with our second guest. As you well know, the Fort St. John Hospital Foundation is in the midst of their annual Be an Angel campaign, which this year is raising funds for several new pieces of equipment for the ICU. We'll be live at Chances Casino's Light a Moose Radiothon next Wednesday through Friday to raise $150,000 for these machines. Now, here to talk about another piece of equipment that's critical that the foundation will be purchasing for the hospital, we're joined now by Denise Mitchell, the clinical team lead of the respiratory therapy department at the hospital. Denise, thank you for making some time to chat with us today.
Well, thank you for having me on. I hope I don't disappoint.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Denise, tell us a bit about your history here at the Fort St. John Hospital. How long have you worked there?
Actually, I have only been at the Fort St. John Hospital just a little over a year.
Okay.
I accepted my position in August of 2024, and it's been quite a dramatic and quite a profound experience, but so far it's been fantastic.
Okay. I assume you've had other kind of experiences in hospitals and other places then, correct?
Absolutely. I've been a respiratory therapist for over 30 years, so I've brought a wealth of experience here to Fort St. John. I have had other positions leading, being in team leadership and stuff, and the opportunity came to me to come here, and I decided, why the heck not?
Has some of that experience been in other sort of rural, kind of remote areas, or is this a new experience for you in that regard?
No, absolutely not. Prior to taking the position here, I was a medical air specialist, and I flew air medical evacuation in Nunavut for 2 years. Okay. So I was telling my colleague earlier, I've been in every inhabited community in Nunavut, from the east to the west. Okay. So that's you're basically a little tiny hospital flying around in a very small plane. So yes, I had a lot of rural experience. There
you go. Okay. Well, what you kind of said you decided to come here. What drew you to Fort St. John specifically, do you think?
Actually, after doing 2 years up north, I was at a national conference, and Fort St. John had a recruitment team there. And, you know, you're walking around chatting with people at the conference, and one of the recruiters there I just came up and asked some questions about the Fort St. John Hospital and about Northern Health in particular, and she was very giving of her time, and then asked for my contact details, and then pursued me to bring my skills and my experience here to Fort St. John.
Wow, I mean, so say you're experienced in a rural setting, and just in general is kind of an understatement. So I think you can probably really speak to how important new equipment and better equipment can be, and how kind of life-changing it can be in a hospital setting, eh?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, since coming here, the respiratory therapy department in particular, we almost relied exclusively on agency therapists that would come in, do short stints, and leave. And now we're fully staffed in the respiratory therapy department. We have just a 0.6 opening, and we're able to provide 24/7 respiratory therapist at the hospital, and that's been it's made a huge impact, particularly in the intensive care unit and in the emergency department.
Wow. All right. Well, let's dig into this machine that the Hospital Foundation wants to buy for the hospital here. I believe it was kind of the focus of what the Be an Angel Gala was last weekend, so it's one of the things they're going to be buying. If I've got the name right here, an MR1 ventilator. What is it and what does it do?
Okay, so currently here at Fort St. John Hospital, we have our intensive care opened, and what an MR1 ventilator is, or what we refer to it as an MRI ventilator. Any critically ill patient that requires an MRI scan, if they are intubated and on a mechanical ventilator, when you're going in to have an MRI scan, there's no metal, no anything can go into that scanner. It's it's a very high resonance type of scan. It provides so much more information for clinicians when trying to diagnose a patient in a critically ill situation. Prior to the foundation putting it as one of the pieces of equipment, when we would take a patient that's intubated, meaning they have a breathing tube and they're on a breathing machine in the ICU, the RT would have to, so the respiratory therapist, so my staff, we would have to basically, we had an extension piece of tubing with a bagger, like to bag a patient, and
so manually
breathe for the patient while they're having this test, which can take up to 2 hours.
Yeah.
What the MR1 ventilator is, it is an MRI compatible ventilator, which means it is safe to go into the MRI scanner with the patient. What that allows us to do is maintain better control of their ventilation. Again, it's a very exhaustive, long test. The RT is not becoming exhausted just standing there for up to 2 hours. Plus, you're taking your acute care therapist away from other areas of the hospital for extended periods of time. We are now able to match with this ventilator, we're able to match the ventilator settings that they are on in the intensive care unit and maintain that stability while the patient is undergoing these tests.
How do you have kind of an idea of sort of how often something like this would happen? I can imagine it depends on every situation, right? And circumstances, but is this something that has to happen quite a bit, where an intubated patient needs an MRI, and as you say right now, you're manually bagging and helping them breathe? Does that happen a fair amount?
Yes, and with the ICU being open now, and I think as with healthcare and with as we keep our ICU open and we have clinical specialists here that come here and do locum work, as well as our internal medicine physicians that are here and hold positions. The acuity of our patient illnesses and stuff, what this allows us to do, actually, in fact, is it enhances the physician's ability to quickly diagnose a patient that may need more advanced testing or more advanced treatment that we maybe not be able to provide here. So it doesn't delay the diagnosis, and it allows us with the opportunity to, if these patients need to be medevaced out of the community, it gives the physician the information and things that they need in order to be able to consult a higher level of care and have these patients brought to the facility where they can get further specialized treatment if it's a part of the diagnosis that we're able to get with the MRI. It also rules out, if the patient is able to stay in the community and have access to these tests and don't need to leave the community, it keeps the patient here, it keeps their families here. When you have a loved one in a critical care situation, knowing that you can be by their side throughout a very trying time, it's better for the family, it's better for the patient, and it just enhances the level of care we're able to provide here locally in Fort St. John.
Wow, I mean, you've just described just how wide-ranging the impact this one machine has. People get through faster, more hands available to do other work. It's incredible, really, to think about. You kind of touched on this a bit about keeping people here, or the chances of being able to be here are higher when you have a machine like this because they don't have to go away to find out and whatnot. What does that mean for you, even as a healthcare worker, when in dealing with families and dealing with patients, that you can now say, well, we can do this test here, and we can find out here what's going on, and we can do it in a timely manner. We don't have to wait because of all these other. What does that mean for you to just, even in handling and dealing with patients and sort of being able to kind of, it may not be good news, but better news in that, well, we can handle this here more often than maybe we could before, or we'll be able to handle it here more often than maybe we could before?
I think for myself personally, and I think I can speak for other healthcare professionals as well, we work together as a team, and when you're delivering high quality care, high quality diagnostic testing procedures here in Fort St. John that were previously potentially unavailable prior to having the intensive care and having the ability to take an intubated patient to have an MRI scan, regardless, these patients would have to be medically flown out.
Yeah.
Now we have the option to keep the patients here, do the testing and investigations here, and potentially avoid a long stay down south or in another advanced care facility. The family can stay close by. It brings comfort to the families. It's the patient's overall treatment and care and plan. We're able to focus it and focus on what we need to ensure that we can hopefully get the patient through the health crisis, get them through their medical crisis, get them extubated, and be able to make a long-term plan for if they need further interventions and treatment and stuff down the road.
Wow. I suppose, I mean, this question in a way sort of answers itself, but then in this case, because these machines like this one and the other, I think 2 or 3 that Light Moose is going to be focused on when we do that next week, how does that generosity from the community and local businesses and just people who want to give their financial aid and contribute in this way, that has a huge impact on your ability to deliver high quality care as a healthcare worker, doesn't it? Just in general.
Yes, absolutely. And you touched on earlier, me coming to a rural region to work and everything. And one thing I will say about having I've worked in big cities, I've worked in several different provinces in Canada, overseas in the Middle East for some time.
Wow.
When you come into a rural regional area with a smaller hospital, it is very much community focused. The people that work at the hospital, we consider ourselves a family. It is the generosity when you're in a rural community. People rely on each other. People look out for each other, and people feel a sense of community and a sense of belonging. I've been here, like I said, I've just been here over a year, and the welcome when I came here and took my position was just overwhelming. And you might not necessarily get that in a larger center. Yes, the generosity is there, but I think people that live in the community, work in the community, and belong to the community can know that their generosity is making their lives and the lives of their family members and their children and everyone that's in the community better, because now the equipment that the foundation generously provides and the fundraising efforts of the community stay in the community, and it's the community that benefits from that.
Absolutely. Well, Denise, I'm really happy that you made time for us here. I know, a healthcare worker, you're always very busy. So thanks for coming here today to share your thoughts. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And I'm back to work now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's Denise Mitchell, the Respiratory Therapy Department at the Fort St. John Hospital. We're going to take a quick break here on This Week in the Piece. We'll be right back.
For the construction, installation, and maintenance of pipelines and facilities, trust the team at Can-Do Oilfield Services. Can-Do is privately owned and operated and has proudly served the oil and gas industry for over 30 years with an absolute commitment to safety, quality, integrity, innovation, customer satisfaction, and local Aboriginal involvement. If you want your next project executed with the same high standards you expect, then look no further than Can-Do Oilfield Services. Visit CanDoOilfield.ca.
Serving Fort St. John and area. They love this community and proudly sponsor the 64th annual FSJ Petroleum Association annual curling. Call First Choice Towing for in and out of town calls 24/7, RCMP, ICBC, and BCAA roadside calls, vehicle lockouts, boosts, fuel deliveries, and winch outs. First Choice Towing. Big or small, they tow them all. Call 250-785-2271. Proud sponsor of the FSJ Petroleum Association Curling Bonspiel Tournament.
Consign early with Rhythm Auctions. By consigning your equipment and vehicles early, you'll get more exposure, locals can see what's on location, and when buyers can see your item, you'll get a better price at auction. Consign today. Learn more at rhythmauctions.com.
When the job gets dirty, Almighty Vac Services gets to work. From tank and equipment cleaning, spill cleanup, and dangerous goods hauling, to fluid transfers, building cleaning, and more. Almighty Vac Services handles the tough stuff so you don't have to. Equipped for the oil field, the shop, and everything in between. Almighty Vac Services. Power, precision, performance. Call them today. 250-794-8201. That's 250-794-8201.
Give your child the best possible start with the Aboriginal Head Start program from NINAS. This early intervention program for Aboriginal children aged 3 to 5 provides for the needs of the child and their family through support services. Components include health and nutrition, education, social support, parent and family involvement, and culture and language to ensure children have a positive sense of themselves as Aboriginal children. To learn more about the Aboriginal Head Start program, visit ninas.org.
Get a jump on the holiday season with the Hair Bin. Hey, it's Amber, and we're helping you get ready for the holidays with tons of thoughtful gift ideas, gift cards, and more. Bring in your VIP retail card to redeem your discount and get in the $500 draw right before Christmas. Plus, inquire about our infrared panel as an add-on to your service or on its own. And don't forget to enter our 40th anniversary draw with 10 grand in prizes. The Hair Bin on Facebook, Instagram, or hairbin.com.
If you're looking for hassle-free internet services, call the Peace Region Internet Society today. With coverage throughout most of the Peace, PRIS can get you connected quickly without the hassle of contracts or bundles. Visit PRIS.ca or call 1-800-768-3311 for more information.
You can watch this show live on Facebook, catch the replays at energeticcity.ca, or be part of the show by texting your thoughts to the Fort City Chrysler line at 250-787-2222.
Welcome back to This Week in the Piece. I'm Caitlin Coombes. Doig River First Nation is on the cusp of electing its new chief and council, with voting set to begin next Thursday, November 20th. Joining us here today is Chief Trevor Makadahay, who has served as chief since 2014 and previously served on council for 7 years. Thank you for joining us today, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, so you announced online on October 31st that you would not be seeking re-election. What brought you to this decision, and do you have any plans following the election for yourself?
I don't know. I guess it was actually 4 years on council.
Okay.
And I was a lands manager before that for the nation in their late 90s, early 2000s, just to clear the record.
Thank you.
I've been chief for the last decade, and I think it's just basically time for a change, and my health hasn't been very good. A lot of stress. It's a pretty stressful position, and you have a lot of sleepless nights, and I got a little toddler now, and he's at that point where he's wanting to, do the extra activities and sports, jiu-jitsu, things like that. And I really want to be there for him. And it's time to move on. And we have a pretty good program in Doig. And I have 3 other counselors that were great this last term, and it was a really good term for me. And I'm leaving on a happy note. I was acclaimed in the last election, so nobody ran against me, and I just took the position. And I feel I had the confidence and the support from my nation through the whole thing. And I wrote them a letter from the chief, just thanking them for supporting me all throughout all these years. And I'm glad, I had a good team. And you're only as good as your people, like I always say. And I think we're pretty lucky out in Doig. A few things went our way, and it helps out.
Absolutely. And how have you seen the community progress over the years of your involvement with the council and as a land manager, like you mentioned?
Over the years, I've seen a lot of progression, and with time, your teams build, and you get good at your craft, and I've watched a lot of our younger people grow into really good employees and really good at their job, and it makes me proud that we all got to gain that experience together. And our elders are always there too, and they're always there to make sure you're in the right path. And we've always encouraged our communication with the membership, direction, community plans. We usually have a comprehensive plan. It gets updated every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just really good vibe there.
That's important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, it is.
And looking back on your time, all your years in your different positions, what do you feel most proud of accomplishing?
Most proud of, I would say, probably just the unity of the community. Mm-hmm. Like we're a pretty tight knit community, and we all look out for each other. And I think the biggest thing for us as a nation is probably coming back to Fort St. John and going through the ATR process and getting urban reserve, mm-hmm. and being real players in the economy. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things that we're most proud of, and just being involved in economics and running our own band-owned businesses and dev corps, and it's just been a great run for me.
Wonderful. And are there any challenges that you first saw when you became more involved that have persisted or continued through your time that you would like to see your successors address, either new or continued?
Relationships. Mm-hmm. With the local municipality and just with government. We've spent a lot of time building those relationships, and we have a really good track record of just getting things done and being real collaborative. And you can't do anything alone. It takes a whole team to get it done. Mm-hmm. And with the city, with the province, it's always been about relationships and producers. We have a great relationship with oil and gas, forestry, all that. So I think, carrying on the relationship part of it will be the biggest thing, because we all work together, and mm-hmm. and we all use the same facilities, so we have to make sure that our pools and our libraries and our hospitals are functioning, and we all have a part to play in that.
That's very good. And what advice do you have for the new chief and council after you're gone?
I think the biggest thing I could say would be having an open mind and really listening to your membership, and your membership will guide you. There's community vision. Everything's there. Just use the tools you have, and the community will definitely guide you on your way. And it's like I said, the biggest, proudest thing I have is unity in our community.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That was Trevor Makadahay. Big thanks to Denise Mitchell and Kelly Ambo for joining us today, and thank you for tuning in.
Yes, and you can listen to the show again by checking out the podcast at energeticcity.ca/podcast. We'll store this in future episodes there as we make them. As well, make sure you check out our other locally produced podcast while there. It's called Before the Peace. That's our show. I'm Dub Craig.
And I'm Caitlin Coombes. We'll see you next time.
Join us again next Friday morning at 10 for another edition of This Week in the Peace, your weekly talk show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace region. Or you can listen to this podcast again at energeticcity.ca.
Professional, reliable, outstanding. At Fluid Pro Oilfield Services, they specialize in providing top-notch oilfield transportation and pumping services that meet the unique demands of the energy industry. To learn more, visit fluidpro.ca, a proud supporter of the oil and gas industry.
Quick, trusted, expert care with no appointment necessary. Let Great Canadian Oil Change's skilled technicians perform a stay-in-your-car oil change and have your vehicle ready to go in no time. Warranty approved? Absolutely. And did you know that Great Canadian Oil Change does seasonal tire swaps and rotations too, all while you stay in your vehicle?
Located at 10103 Alaska Road in Fort St. John.
And serving Fort St. John and area. They love this community and proudly sponsor the 64th Annual FSJ Petroleum Association Annual Curling. Call First Choice Towing for in and out of town calls 24/7, RCMP, ICBC, and BCAA roadside calls, vehicle lockouts, boosts, fuel deliveries, and winch outs. First Choice Towing. Big or small, they tow them all. Call 250-785-2271. Proud sponsor of the FSJ Petroleum Association Curling Bonspiel Tournament.
Christmas shops and stay at the 4 Points Hotel in Grand Prairie. Relax in the hot tub or the spa while the kids splash in the pool. Breakfast included with your stay.
Enhance your visit with the Grand Winter Package, available with any weekend stay through November and December. Receive a $50 gift card to use at any New Horizon Co-op in the Peace, and a free pass to the Northern Spirit Light Show.
The Grand Winter Package, available at the Grand Prairie Regional Tourism Association's DMF Hotel, 4 Points Hotel. Visit the 4 Points Hotel website.
Luke here from Fort Motors. We are a proud supporter of the oil and gas industry. From sales to service, parts, and more, Fort Motors can help you get up and running and stay running with vehicles ideal for the industry we live and breathe. Visit Fort Motors today or head to fortmotors.ca.